Hello and welcome to this edition of Designing Spaces, the show that's all about you and your space, your home and surroundings. I'm Debbie Murray.
And I'm David Jones. Spring is in the air, that time of year where people start thinking about projects to improve the quality of their home and lifestyle.
And that's the direction we're taking our show today.
We'll start off by improving the quality of your water, then finding that elusive storage space.
And we're going to talk about gardening and how you can raise fruits and vegetables and flowers, and it's very rewarding.
Plus, we'll look at some of the first steps you should take when hiring someone for a home remodeling project. And let's not forget about girls powered up.
So stick around and see it all right here on Designing Spaces. You know what's a lot of fun and very rewarding? Gardening.
I knew that. But what about the people who live in places where there's not a lot of yard to get the gardening done?
That's a very good point, and if that's you, Designing Spaces has a solution. I met with our master gardener, Rose Buttman, and she showed us how to set up an organic oasis. Watch. The idea of a backyard garden appeals to so many of us, but not everyone has the type of backyard that lends itself to digging in the ground and raising plants. In fact, many backyards have no exposed earth for any sort of gardening. Designing Spaces has just the answer so everyone can enjoy a beautiful garden in their backyard. And we're at this gorgeous townhome, courtesy of Erin West. Thank you for having us here today.
You're so welcome.
So you wanted a garden. What type of garden are you looking for?
Well, I'd like a garden that has some herbs in it. I love cooking, and I'd love to have some fresh herbs to cook with. I'd also like a garden that has some colorful flowers to brighten things up back there. And I'd like those to be flowers that could be cut and put into arrangements. And so there's a couple of vegetables, actually, I'd like to try to cook, too, if possible.
Those all sound good. Now, why haven't you done any of those thus far?
Well, my backyard's a very small area, so it's difficult to figure out how to utilize it perfectly to get everything in there.
Well, we have just the answer for you today. We actually have a surprise. She's waiting in your backyard. Her name is Rose Buttman, and she is our expert gardener. You want to meet her?
Great.
Okay,
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you're going to really love her. She's really good. Hi, Rose.
Hi, nice to see you.
Rose, this is Erin.
Hi, Erin. A pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, Rose, you're going to help us out today and explain to everyone how we could all have a beautiful garden no matter where we live.
Yes, I am. And Erin's going to be able to have everything that's on her wish list. We're going to do something that's going to complement her townhome. It's going to be attractive, something easy for her to maintain, but it's also going to get you the results that you want. You'll be able to have your herbs. You could grow a few tomatoes if you want, and maybe some pretty cut flowers. They'll give you the color that you can bring into your house.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, for her situation, we're talking about a raised garden. That's the most practical situation for her. And the Backyard Botanical Complete Gardening System is a perfect practical solution for what she has here. So this is a contained unit, and she'll be able to grow her herbs, her vegetables if she wants, some wonderful flowers to give her backyard some color.
And I would think this would be great not only for Erin with the limited space, but also for anyone who has concrete in their backyard.
Yes, if you have just concrete in your backyard and you've got no place to dig, this is perfect. You can place it right on the concrete, but you don't want to put it on a raised platform. If you have a raised wooden deck or you have a balcony, it's going to be too heavy for that.
So this is a 4x4 unit, right?
Yeah, so that's a perfect solution for her with her limited space here.
Okay, well, I say we get started. Let's build.
Yeah,
Okay. Good. Okay, Rose, so what do we start with?
Well, let's see. Right here, we want to start with the brackets. We're going to need one bracket on that side.
Okay. So how do we know where to place this in the backyard?
Well, we've built the unit, and then we had to look at your yard to see where the best place is. So for vegetables, it's very important that you at least have 6 hours of sunlight. So this unit is facing towards the south. The reason we want to face it to the south is the back part of the units here, which are very handy-dandy, are actually trellises. So as your taller plants are here in the back, like you have the eggplant and the tomatoes, eventually the tomato's going to get big. You can tie it onto the trellis, so you don't have to have added trellises in there. It will keep your fruit up off of the ground, so you won't get as much insects and pest problems. And that way, when the sun shifts, it's not going to shade the rest of your garden. So you want to put your taller plants towards the back and your smaller plants towards the front.
That's a very good tip.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think you mentioned something about the actual place of the plants once they're in the unit, that some should be closer to the water tubes and some should be more in the drier areas.
Right. Well, you have an option here. Because this comes with its own drip irrigation hose, which is fantastic, you just put your plants in, or if you had a little drawing first of where you were going to place your plants first, you would put your drip hose in here. It goes on top of the soil. Now, as the water comes through, there's little holes in there, and it drips down into the soil. That's a great way to conserve water. So if some plants that you know like more water than others, like the parsley and the cilantro that you have here, the dill, the lettuce, they're going to like a little bit more water. They have a softer leaf to them.
Okay.
If you have something like rosemary and sage and thyme, they like it a little drier. You'll have your drip irrigation in there that you can set on your timer. And when you first put it in, you could maybe set it to go off every day for about 3 to 7 minutes. But with irrigation, you have to be really careful. The best way to tell is to just take your hand and put it down into the soil. If it's still moist in there, down around 2 inches, then don't water it.
Okay.
Okay, because most people kill their plants with kindness. They think that, well, it needs a lot of water, let's give it a lot of water, but you can drown the root systems.
Right.
Now, this unit here has some wonderful soil in here. You can see how nice and organic it is. So you want to use that good composted soil mix in there, and that's going to help to retain the water as well. So if the plants start to look like they're drooping a little bit, some might need a little more than others, you have that other little handy-dandy sprinkler hose there, right? So if you just needed to spot some of them, right, and give them a little squirt, and when you first put them in and their roots are settling in, that's a good way to kind of water it and just kind of settle the roots in, because you really don't want, some people just tamp everything in there, and then you're compacting the soil around the root.
So, Rose, is there a correct way of planting everything?
Sure, and Erin did a great job here already, but I can show you. See, right here we have a nice little sage plant. You can use this little table here. You want to just gently tap your pot. You don't want to yank it out. Just give it a little tap, and it should slide right out. And you're looking at the root system here, and the roots look pretty good. Now, if you got a plant and there were a lot of roots circling around the outside, that's not good, and you might want to kind of tease it open just a little bit. Now you've got this wonderful organic soil, and of course we're not down on the ground, so this is not backbreaking. It's very easy.
That's a good point.
To just tap it in like that.
How long until we're able to eat what we plant here?
Well, the vegetables are going to take longer than the herbs do. Tomatoes, obviously, you want to leave them on the vine as long as possible. They're going to be the longest part of the growing season. All of the herbs you can start using now, because you're not, when you're harvesting, you're not just pulling the whole thing out. The garden's sustainable and it's going to keep growing. So you can go in here and you can clip out a little bit of cilantro or a little bit of dill if you're going to use it. The lettuces, if they get a little bit bigger, you could take a few leaves off of each one and throw them into a salad with the arugula leaves, and then they're going to just keep filling out. And actually, even though she wanted her flowers for color, you can actually eat the African marigolds and the dianthus flowers and just pull those little petals out and sprinkle them on your salad to give them a little bit of color and really impress your guests.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a great tip.
She thought of everything.
Yes.
So what do you think? Are you happy?
I am so happy, and I'm just amazed at how much we fit into this small area. It's fantastic.
Well, you're utilizing your space to the best advantage here.
The only other thing I'm worried about is animals. Is there a way to keep my pets out of here?
Sure. These sides here that are also a trellis just pop right up.
Oh, wow.
And clip into
That's
there.
very convenient.
Yeah.
Rose, where can our viewers go to get some more information?
they can go to backyardbotanicals.com and they can get all kinds of gardening tips and all the information they need.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for allowing us in your house today. This has been really fun.
You're so welcome, and thank you. This has been such a wonderful experience. I really appreciate all the information.
Appreciate it. And Rose, as always, it's been a pleasure and very enlightening and fun, of course, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's great helping somebody that really wants to do gardening.
Yes, and we also want to thank the folks at Backyard Botanical for really making today possible in the first place. See you soon. What a good show today.
Ah, you're telling me, from water quality to storage space, from gardening to contractors. I'm exhausted. I don't know if we could do any more.
Well, we don't have to. We're out of time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then, for Designing Spaces, I'm David Jones.
And I'm Debbie Marie. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.